Okay, we're going to flip this last function where it used a series of if statements to choose what the key was, so that we are going to use dictionaries instead. So the first thing I need is I actually need a list of descriptions instead of the key. So we'll create a variable called descriptions or world descriptions. And within that, I now have, and it's not a square bracket to create a list, it is a curly bracket to create a dictionary. And like I did with the list before, I'm going to use a property of Python that it allows me to reformat my command. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and give it the space first, the first character I defined. I can copy my code from before, paste it into my description. So if I come across an empty space, we know it's just an open meadow. Come down to the next one, and I've got the wavy line, and that is I've slipped into a river. So I'll copy my description and go quote wavy line, quote, colon, and put my description on the end. After each pair, I press a comma to separate the lists up. So we've got the key, the space, and the description with a comma to say there's another thing following it. So I'm going to keep going through. I'm going to do gold. Copy my code description for the gold. And put a comma on the end of it. Keep coming down. In fact, I'm going to delete some of these out so I can see what else is happening. I'm down to the door. Let's copy the description for the door. And for door, got that text. So I copy it. Well, I'm going to cut it actually, paste it in. So you could just create these as you're working through. I've got my wooden floor. Now, some people will have a problem with their map because they use more than one character. I did keep asking you to use one character for each location. The reason being that when we do the get location, you can only get one character at a time from a location. So some of you may have to go and change your maps a little bit so you've only got one character for each thing. Let's do the heavy forest. One other difference is I can't do this default message at the end. So when I've done the tree, so display the tree, do its description, put a comma on the end of that one. I can lose all of these descriptions out of here. It doesn't matter if you're doing the worksheet version or this one, you can either print the map or print the description or return it. It shouldn't make much difference. Sorry, because let's just, my tea was a little thing, I haven't got to see it, COVID. So the description, we can return the text, or we can print it. If we want to print it, it's fine, because we only really want to print out descriptions in one place. And if you remember the definition, this doesn't return anything. So therefore, this description, this describe is now a procedure. I'm just going to copy in the two I put in on the command line as well. So I created a W and I created an open door. That's still not everything I've got in my map. But hopefully this will give me a good enough start. I'm just going to tidy up my text so everything stays about the same width. So all of that should line up. And it creaks as you pass through. Okay. We've now got another variable we need in our describe. Describe doesn't know about world description yet. It's a global variable, so we're going to get it. World desc and that gives me the descriptions for the whole world. I've got the location, and my description is I look up in World Desk that character, the location. So the procedure is we get a location in X and Y. We go to the location and find out what there is there from the world map. The world map gives us a character, and then we look at what's the description of that character, and finally we print out the message. So I'm just going to get a few lines in so we can see this clearly. And now when I run it, when I type in print map, I can print out the map, and now I can say I want to describe position 11.0 because I want that bit of gold. Is not. Oh, anybody spot the mistake? It's in my function. To look up, we index you. We find the key using square brackets. That's what my error said. This is trying to call a function. World Desk with a round bracket says, go and run this piece of code, and it knows it's not a piece of code. So let's run it again. Control save. Wrong one. We're saving the wrong window. Now let's print out the world map. Get the cap. Print the world map. Do my describe for 11.0. An open meadow, but your foot moves a bag of, and a gold coin falls out. We try 11.12.3. Describe 12.3. This should be me in the open door. Solid open door. Everything you try does not work to make the door move. I've still got a problem, and this problem I can't resolve in its easier way, as I did before. If I try describing the bridge, so something I haven't defined yet, the bridge is at 12.1. And press enter. It now doesn't know what this hat arrow is. So I was looking at that character and saying, what's the description for it? And what it says, I haven't got one. The way you deal with those is you actually put in a try. If you remember when we do try and accept, we try to get the value out of the dictionary. And if I do an accept key error, I can then turn around and say description is you've fallen off the edge of the world. And that will allow me to just deal with when there is nothing in my dictionary. A bit like we did with the get location. Your get location should not allow you to go outside of the map. If it does, we'll look at the code to do with that as we go on. So I'm just going to put a comment on the try block. It's a good practice on try blocks to put a comment. And this is get the description, but do not fail if not found. So if we haven't found the key, don't let the error come out to the user. Now when I run it, we've got the same locations as before. Now if I try and describe that 12.1, you've fallen off the edge of the world. It didn't know that that bridge was. There's the end of my next video.